You're fat.
You fat.
What?
You fat.
Okay.
Okay, you start. Yeah. I'm Nayeli. I'm Chris.
Okay.
Welcome back
Welcome back to.
and you have to sign too, but
Welcome back to Definitely.
another
Yes.
episode.
Today we're going to.
Today. If not, how did I learn?
Okay. If.
Slow.
How.
Don't rush. Just take it easy.
Be perfect.
Chill.
You know High
Just
School
take it easy.
Musical? Again. More expression. You need to show more expression.
Hello everyone.
I'm Nayeli.
And I'm Chris.
Welcome back to the next episode of Definitely Us.
Today, we're going to answer some of your questions like, how did we meet?
Did Chris know sign before we met? If not, how did he learn?
Maybe I'm just smart. Also, we're going to answer questions like, if I didn't know sign when we met, how did we communicate while I learned? Today, we will answer all those questions and more. Keep watching.
Yep.
Okay, so first, we'll answer the question, how did we meet? Do you want to answer, or should I?
I prefer to hear your story.
Okay. So I'm from Miami, Florida, Miami. And in high school, I was thinking about where I wanted to go for university. My parents really encouraged me to go out of state to a university called Liberty University. And it's in Lynchburg, Virginia. So I decided I would go. And my sophomore year, I was hired to work for a work study position in a place called the Math Emporium. I was a student tutor there. And anyway, that sophomore year, I worked at the Math Emporium for my first year, and while in that year, that fall semester, I decided to take ASL. So why did I decide to take ASL? Well, before I had never had any experience with deaf people. Up to that point, I had never met a deaf person. But I remember, I think maybe it was my senior year of high school. I was in a mall near my house, and I remember I saw two people walking, and it was interesting because they were both signing to each other as they were walking, and it really captivated me. And I also started watching a show called Switched at Birth. Many of you know it. So I really became fascinated with sign language. And when I learned that Liberty offered sign language, I decided to take advantage of it. So my first year taking sign language was my sophomore year, fall semester. I took ASL 101, and I was really excited about it. But if you know my personality, you know that I'm very particular.
Yeah, true?
So for me, I thought ASL would be easy. It would be an easy class, but it wasn't for me. It was really hard. I really struggled and I always
Yeah.
argued with the professor.
True.
And I didn't understand, it didn't make sense. I didn't understand classifiers. And so it was really hard. Many times, I wouldn't even do the homework.
Of course.
Because I didn't like recording myself.
Really weird.
Myself.
Yeah. Really weird.
Which is weird.
We were discussing, why don't we make a YouTube channel? And I was like, huh? I thought you didn't like recording yourself. Even when I record him signing, he didn't like it. So now he changed his mind?
Go figure.
Funny.
Yeah. Go figure. So anyway, at the end of the fall semester, I struggled with that class, but I still enjoyed it. And my final grade was a C. But I was still interested, and I even discussed with the professor the possibility of me minoring in ASL. So when it was time for me to sign up for classes, I registered for ASL 102, level 2, and I took it, and I was still excited, and I was still motivated to learn, but it was still a struggle for me. At the end, I decided I wouldn't minor in it because I got a C again. So I felt, if I ever meet a deaf person, at least I'll be able to introduce myself and say hello, and that's it. But I decided I wasn't going to continue with the minor, wasn't going to continue taking ASL classes because, well, basically I felt like I sucked. For me, my junior year, when I should have taken ASL level 3, I decided not to. So what's funny is that semester on Tuesday, I still worked at the Math Emporium. And you gotta understand, there's a lot of computers there. It's like 250 computers.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
So it's really hard if someone raises their hand.
You'd be looking around.
They might have to do that for a long time. And maybe their arm from holding it up so long would get tired. So the Math Emporium has a funny system. Each computer to the right of it has a red solo cup. If a student has a question, they're supposed to put the cup on top of the computer. And it's just because it's easy to spot. So I was walking around and I saw a red cup on a computer. So I went up and I said, "What's up?" And who was it? It was Nayeli.
Yeah, it was me.
And I said, "What's up?" It's funny, I remember what she signed, but when she signed, at that time, I didn't understand. But I still remember, and now I understand what she said.
He was very nervous.
Something kept popping up. I figured out, oh, she's deaf. I also figured it out because she had an interpreter behind her, voicing for her. So I was like, oh, I didn't know what was appropriate. I thought to myself, maybe I should try to sign, or maybe not. So I just decided to let the interpreter do her job.
But he did introduce himself.
Right, yeah, hold on. So the interpreter finished voicing for Nayeli, and then when she was done, I introduced myself. But I was bad. I had only taken 2 ASL classes, and the whole summer I had almost forgotten everything I learned. So I was so nervous. I said, "Hello, my name is Chris."
Yes. I was like, okay.
I think maybe I signed You need help.
Yes.
I help you. I don't remember. I tried to sign.
But I think you were clear. You did good. Yes. I'm
Yeah,
not lying.
so.
You did good. Then what happened?
Yeah.
Did I introduce myself before?
No,
Really? I thought I did.
I don't remember.
But,
You said, okay, cool, nice. But you didn't introduce yourself. You didn't tell me my name is Nayeli. Nope, nothing. Anyway, when we finished, I walked away and I looked back. I looked back at her and I was like, she's kind of cute.
Really? What I was wearing didn't look good.
I like Spanish girls, so I looked back and I was like, she's cute.
Really weird.
That's how we first met. So every Saturday, I was one of the few people who worked. And Nayeli, math wasn't easy for you.
Yeah. I remember before in high school, I was good, but it was different here. I wasn't used to it. I had to take baby steps. It was tough.
I was really impressed because every Saturday, you have to understand, I was one of the few people who worked there at the Math Emporium. And we would open on Saturdays from 10 to 2.
I thought till 12.
So 4 hours. Yeah,
yeah.
from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. And she would always be the first person to show up and the last person to leave. So I remember I saw her often. And how did we start? I think one time.
I remember.
My number?
I had to take the quiz. It had to be at the front. It was required. I had to take the quiz, so I had to do all the homework. Then I had to do the quiz all the way at the front, right? I had to take the quiz. I don't remember. Wow. So I had to do all the homework, then the quiz, right? I remember that. I really sucked at math. Then you came up to me, gave me your number.
Yes,
said,
right.
If I needed help, it's up to you. You can give me a call, whatever.
But you make it seem like I signed clear. And I said, I gave you my number, and I was interested in her. So I wanted to get to know her. So I decided to give her my number so that we could meet outside of the Math Emporium, not
that's
there.
what I said,
At work,
but-
something different. Maybe the library. So I remember I tried to tell her, here's my number. If you want me to help you outside in the library. But now it's more clear. You can probably understand me now, but before it wasn't clear. So I remember Nayeli, after I said that,
Right.
I remember Nayeli texted me and she said, I was trying to understand what you said before. Do you mind clarifying?
Whatever.
So I was like, I'm sorry. I said, if you want to meet someplace different, like the library, I'd be willing to help you with math.
Right. Only for homework. That's it. Not just to go out. Just for homework.
Homework.
Yeah.
That's right. That was it.
Honestly, I wasn't flirting. But maybe I'd get to know him.
She really ignored me. Many times, she never texted me. Nothing. Sometimes, I would work at the front desk, and all students were required to swipe.
Yeah, you had to tap
They
it.
have a ID card, and they'd have to tap it when they're coming in. And sometimes I'd sit at the front, and she would come up. I'd say, "What's up?
Yes.
You haven't texted me." And she's like, "Oh, I will." And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember one Saturday. Again, Nayeli was typically always the first person to show up and the last person to leave. So, Nayeli, she finished her homework at 2 in the afternoon. And so on Saturdays we close at 2.
Right.
And I remember I saw her leaving. And I knew where she was going. She was going to the bus. So
Yeah, I did not expect that. I was not expecting that. The 70 bus was far. I was on my way back to my dorm. And then I saw him sit down.
Wait. So I saw her leave. And I wanted to follow her.
I didn't
So
expect
when
it.
she left, I clocked out fast. And I went after her. But I tried to act casual. And when I came in, she was like, wow, that was fast. How?
He sat down right in front of me.
And so I sat down, and my sign wasn't very clear, but again, I tried to act casual. And I was like, hey, so I see you here. Where are you going? And she's like, oh, I'm going to my dorm. I'm going to eat some lunch and then study. And I was like, well, are you going to hang out with friends? Again, I was just trying to make conversation. And she's like, no, I'm going to go have lunch by myself and then study by myself. That's it. And I was like, this is your freshman year and you're not going to hang out with friends?
Right. There really weren't that many people who knew how to sign.
True, but still.
So really, I just prefer to keep to myself.
Right. But still, I was like, what? No. Are you going to have lunch alone? She's like, yeah. And I was like, well, do you want to come have lunch with me? And she was like,
Yeah,
sure.
I said that. That's
So we went to lunch together, and that was really the first time that we got to talking. And I was impressed because we had conversation. Yeah, it was hard, but we were slowly communicating. I had to fingerspell a lot. It was really annoying. Fingerspelling. I would say something and have to fingerspell. Start saying something and have to fingerspell. I think that's part of the reason that I was so motivated to learn sign language, because I was sick of having to fingerspell everything. I really wanted to communicate smoothly. So then
Yeah, it was
we
a good
started-
conversation. It felt like maybe an hour or maybe more.
Yeah, it was a long conversation. And I felt good. And then we started hanging out. We met. That first time we met was on that Tuesday.
Then we ate together.
And that was the first week of classes in August. And then by September, I would say we were already starting to become friends. And we went to a football game together.
Together, yes.
With a few other people.
Who knew sign?
Yeah, they were students. They were learning ASL too. And one of them actually became your maid of honor.
Maid of honor, yes. She's really awesome lady.
Yeah.
I'm really blessed to have her. She's precious to me. Maybe later we'll have a video of her. She's always smiling.
Yeah. So in September, we were already good friends. And we had gone to a football game together. And then I was thinking, because our university has a theater area. And I knew that they had a play coming up soon for The Little Mermaid.
Mermaid.
Yeah. And I knew they had an interpreter.
interpreter
one
was
day.
provided.
Yeah, one day it was a special. They provided an interpreter.
Right.
And I was wondering, I kind of want to invite Nayeli, but I don't want to move too fast. But, I was still like, should I? At that point, I wasn't fully 100% sure that I wanted to date her, but I was interested. But I don't want to move too fast. So I decided to ask her to go as my friend, but I didn't invite other friends to go. No, just her. I remember I bought 2 tickets, and that was actually my birthday weekend.
Yep.
And I remember I showed up, and Nayeli wasn't there.
Oh, right. I planned. Right.
She was cleaning her room, her
I
dorm
texted
room.
him saying I couldn't go. Then he texted me back and tried to convince me. So I was like, fine. I decided I'll
Yeah,
go.
she did. She was a little bit late. The play had already started, but she did show up.
Yep.
Then, I think, yeah, we took a picture together, and the rest is history.
Really? Wow.
That's, of course, there's more
I
to the
think-
story, but that's how we met.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah.